It is a country where the UN says more than 20 million people, that is half the population, is facing a catastrophic food shortage. Tens of thousands are facing famine. And all of that as one of the world's longest and most complicated conflicts rages around them. It is now a quarter of a century since, theoretically, the two Yemeni states united to form what is now the modern Republic of Yemen. But since 2014, the country has been gripped by war, partly the war against the Iran-backed Houthis in the north and the desire for independence again from the south. Indeed, after the Houthis advanced, taking the capital Sana'a and for a while the southern city of Aden, an Arab coalition led by Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates massively bombed the country to drive them back. During the violence, 4.6 million people were displaced, many traces of combat still visible in Aden. Since then, Yemen has been divided into two zones. Large areas in the north, including Sana'a, remain in the control of the Houthis. The south is controlled by the legitimate government, with the help of the Saudis and the Emiratis. For 10 years now, Aden has been Yemen's temporary capital, relatively more stable than the rest of the country. Even that has changed again, amid a fracturing within the southern forces themselves. Well, Mathilde Delvigne and Hossam Rabi revisit Aden for France 24.
In this square in Aden, hundreds of thousands of Yemenis have gathered to speak with one voice. The demonstrators are not waving Yemeni flags, but those of the separatist Southern Transitional Council, or STC. Created in 2017 with support of the United Arab Emirates, the STC had been a loyal ally of the internationally recognized government, which is backed by Saudi Arabia. Their shared objective: fighting the Houthis in the north of the country. But since mid-December, that alliance has fractured. The STC launched offensives to seize oil-rich areas in Yemen's east. It was unacceptable for Riyadh, which responded with targeted strikes and deployed forces to take control of Aden. Now, both sides run competing checkpoints across the city. In some places, only a few hundred meters separate them. The situation is confusing, but residents seem resolute in their demands.
The people of the south must reclaim their state, reclaim their maritime resources and their oil. It's over. We don't want the Saudis anymore. We don't want anyone. We will carry the southern cause to the very end, for everyone to see.
For Saudi Arabia, these secessionist ambitions were unacceptable. The regional heavyweight wants to keep Yemen united and avoid the erosion of its regional hegemony. This southern rift is plunging the country into a new unknown, and civilians once again fear that they will pay the price. Since the start of the war against the Houthis in 2015, Yemen has sunk into a profound economic crisis. The economy is crippled by shortages of basic necessities like fuel and electricity.
I've been here for 2 days. Some people have been waiting 4 or 5 days because of this fuel crisis. We are losing a lot of money because we are stuck. These buses aren't ours. We rent them. The owners want their money. It's unfair to make us suffer like this.
I've been waiting here since yesterday at 4 p.m. and I still can't go home. Because of the crisis, we lose more money than we earn. We end up borrowing just to fill up with petrol. Soon we'll be begging to fill our tanks. We're losing more and more.
In this dire economic reality, barely a third of Yemen's working-age population are employed. Public services like schools and hospitals face collapse after more than 10 years of war and the absence of a functioning state. In Aden, a Sadaqah public hospital is the most vital facility in the area for treating mothers and sick children. Maha Abdel Wahab has been a doctor for 35 years. She cares for children suffering from malnutrition.
Okay, we have here a room of the tiny babies. This 2 months old. Yeah, this child is malnourished. He's both measles. Came here because of the bronchopneumonia and the gastroenteritis. His brother died 2 days ago.
According to the UN, nearly half of Yemeni children under the age of 5 suffer from acute malnutrition. 11 million people depend on humanitarian aid just to survive. Every day, Maha fights against the hospital's severe lack of resources to try and save her patients.
This sheikh, he's 15 months old. Unfortunately, he has a chronic persistent diarrhea, which is undiagnosed. We need for him endoscopy and biopsy. Unfortunately, in our department, they are doing endoscopy, but for children who are having a 10 kilo. So there is no resources here. Even some of the simple investigation not available in this hospital. I'm feeling sorrow. Even after all these 35 years working, and I can't help him. Even when I'm going home, he's still in my thinking.
Like most public sector workers, Maha goes months without receiving a salary. The hospital relies mainly on foreign donations to operate. But since the Trump administration gutted the US AID budget a year ago, that support has all but collapsed. The UN says that less than 30% of the humanitarian aid needed for Yemen was funded last year. Wandering the streets, another segment of the population feels completely abandoned. Those internally displaced by the conflict. Since 2015, 4.6 million Yemenis have been forced to flee their homes to escape the fighting, according to UN figures. On the outskirts of Aden, hidden behind these walls, 180 families have been living in this camp for 8 years. All of them come from Houthis, a region in northern Yemen.
The Houthis took control of the area where we lived. We were right in the middle of the war. People fled because they were taking children to recruitment camps. They also bombed our homes. Shrapnel hit them. Schools shut down. Life there was very difficult.
Traumatized by the fighting, none of them has considered going back to Houthis, regardless of their living conditions here. In winter, pummeled by rain, in summer, scorched by temperatures above 45 degrees, they now live in makeshift shelters. Before 2015, Osama was a teacher. Last year, the camp's only school closed due to lack of resources and other teachers. Several times a month, he still volunteers to teach the children.
In Houthis, I had a job, a salary. Now I am marginalized with no way to work. For 7 or 8 years, we've been in limbo between heaven and earth. Most people in the camp search through garbage to eat. We were sacrificed. We're no longer treated like humans, but like animals that have been swept away. A dog lives better than I do. I wish I could close my eyes and go back. We are powerless. We've gone back 100 years. It's God's will, but also the fault of those fighting for power.
In some camps, aid arrives only in dribs and drabs, depending on the organizations managing it. In southern Yemen, the overwhelming majority of the population sees no improvement in daily life, regardless of promises or changes amongst those in power. In Aden's El Mu'alla district, this research center was created in 2019 and focuses on southern Yemenis. According to its director, not all southerners support the STC, but the vast majority agree on one point. A united Yemen is no longer an option.
This is the map of Yemen. The white area is the People's Democratic Republic of Yemen. that existed before 1990. This is the map Southerners want to restore and on which they want to establish their state. I think all Yemenis, not only those in the south, have come to the conclusion that the previous form of unity, or the previous political system, is no longer possible. Because neither the northern nor the southern population truly benefited from that unity. Those who benefited were the centres of influence, tribal leaders and clans who invested, obtained oil wells and received exclusive privileges that should normally belong to the state and the people. As a result, unity lost its course. Now the disagreement is over whether Yemen should have two states or federal regions.
Yemenis fear slipping again into oblivion as the country faces a fresh chapter of instability. In a modern neighborhood on the outskirts of Aden, we meet Maha again after her workday. She never married nor had children, but often comes here to visit her sister.
I was young, much young than now, really.
In 1992, Maha was a medical intern. She belongs to a generation that grew up with secular education and a society largely open to women in the former state of South Yemen.
No, there is a strange look in my eyes. As if I am hoping or looking for something or dreaming of something, really. It is a dreaming of something big. At that moment, everything is beautiful. Really, we are graduating as a doctors and I have a very beautiful future. The situation is good, no conflicts, life is going easy. Salary of my father, good. Everything is good.
1 year before the 2011 revolution, Maha made her last trip outside of Yemen. She spent a month in Florence, Italy, visiting hospitals.
I was there to see exactly how they work, which hospital will be good for our doctors to train. When I went to Italy and I saw the hospital, there is a big difference. A wide gap between our hospitals and their hospitals. And at that moment, when I was in Italy, I was having the hope that our hospital are going to change to be better. Because at that time, circumstances, it may happen. But after that, I lost the hope. I never think of my country to be like today, never.
In the streets of Aden, the scars of war remain open. Yet local authorities are trying to project an image of a city ready for a new beginning. In the city's crater district, one renovation project after another is being launched, funded by UNESCO and the European Union. Mahmoud Ben Garada is 35. He has been mayor of Aden since 2021. Several times a month, he tours construction sites. He shows us the restoration of a church.
St. Mary's Church was founded in 1747. In 1932, the Legislative Council gathered here to vote on laws and decrees governing Aden. This was the seat of power. Everyone came here to give rulings. In Aden, we had synagogues, churches, and of course mosques. This reflected cultural diversity and the interweaving of religions. Religions coexisted peacefully, without problems, without any form of violence.
In 2015, Ben Garada was 24 years old and was supposed to complete his final year of dental studies. Like hundreds of thousands of young Yemenis, the outbreak of war shattered his future. He took up arms against the Houthis before pursuing a different path.
For any young person concerned about their family, their region, their religion, their honor, if people come to invade you ideologically or try to change your religion or your identity, it's natural to resist. And I was one of them until the end of the war in 2015. After that, we laid down our weapons and turned toward construction. It's easy to destroy. The hardest part is always raising awareness and rebuilding.
The task of restoring a semblance of normal life in Aden remains immense. Even today, cultural and entertainment venues are almost non-existent. Many former sites have been abandoned. For many in Aden, the seafront remains their only accessible escape. The sea and knitting are the best remedies Maha has found to clear her mind.
I spend a lot of time undoing knots. Normally it's something that tires or annoys people. I love it. I don't want to say, like everyone else, I love my country and all that. But Yemen really has a special charm. Despite everything that's happened, the problems, tensions and shortages we feel, there's always something that ties you to this land. When problems come, it's like a storm, then everything returns to normal. Here there are people with whom you can feel safe and coexist.
For Yemenis, every calm day is a reminder of a fragile truce, a brief reprieve before political fractures once again tear into their daily lives.